We are back for part two of our science experiment. So, hopefully, maybe you were able to try at home with the eggs and the different liquids. And if you weren't, then you can just watch this and find out what happened. Um, and maybe still write down some of your own observations and things that you have learned from listening to different stories and different tooth activities this week, and maybe things you just already know because you take good care of your teeth already. So, looking at our first egg, this is the one in water. So, if I was drawing my picture before in my observations, I think it looks exactly the same. I don't see anything that's changed. The water's still the same. There was no bubbles. The egg hasn't changed color. It's looking pretty much the same. But now I need to carefully take it out. This is kind of the yucky part with some of these liquids, is because maybe the egg has changed. So I'm going to go in with my spoon and I'm going to tap. Egg still feels like it has a hard shell. It hasn't changed. If I scratch it with my nail, nothing's coming off. So the water really hasn't changed the egg at all. I'm just going to put that one over here in a bowl, and these are going to go in the garbage because otherwise they're going to get really stinky from sitting out on my counter for 2 days. This is 2 days later from the first part of the experiment. The next one I'm going to do is the vinegar, and this one I could make quite a few observations. So in the first video I talked about how I could see a lot of bubbles, and I still can. Lots and lots of bubbles on the egg, bubbles in the water on top. I'm also kind of seeing like a white film. It looks a little bit filmy along the edges. It looks like maybe, I don't know, maybe some of the vinegar has evaporated a little bit, which means that it started to kind of go up into the air and disappear. I also am wondering where that white film came from. So I'm going to do the next part where I'm going to take it out and give it a feel. I can already tell with my spoon that this feels a little bit rubbery. So that might be a word I would use. Oh yeah, and soft. So if this was going to be my tooth, gross. I can squish this. Can you see how I can squish that? It's like there's hardly even, I wouldn't even say there's shell left. I would say that the vinegar has eaten away at the shell. I can, oh yeah, I can pick it right off and it's just eating right away at it. Very rubbery, almost like I could bounce it like a rubber ball. It smells very vinegary. Yuck. Okay, so we're just gonna pop that over there. And I'm going to wipe off my fingers because it's kind of gross. And now we have our egg that was in Coke. This one looks pretty much the same too in my observations, so drawing my egg before and after, but here's where things are probably going to change. Now when I go to take my egg out, oh my goodness. Did you find this too? Look at what has happened. What color is my egg now? It's not white anymore. It has changed to like a brown color. Still a pretty hard shell. So like that dentin in your teeth, it hasn't really ate away at that, but it has started to a little bit. I can see some kind of darker patches. Can you see those? So maybe it might have started to try and decay away at the tooth a little bit. So some things that we have maybe learned now from looking at this experiment is that water is very safe for our teeth. I wouldn't worry about water at all. It's good for our body. It's good for our teeth. It doesn't have any sugar in it that's going to be rotting away. Actually, in Lethbridge, I know our water is treated with some fluoride. Not everybody likes that, but it is good at protecting your teeth from tooth decay. And in the vinegar, it's very acidic. And so lots of foods that are acidic, so tomatoes, oranges, those are all good things for us. But because they have certain chemicals in them, not that they're bad for your body, but we just have to make sure that we are brushing after. Or at least in the morning and before we go to bed. So that's not sitting on our teeth all night long, because that's when those sugar bugs start doing nasty magic that we don't want them to be doing. Now, things like soft drinks that have dark colors, and maybe some of your parents drink tea or coffee or other things that have dark color like that, they do stain your teeth. And they do eat away and start to decay, and those sugar bugs start doing their nasty job too. Now, you're young and your teeth haven't been around as long as an adult, so they're probably fairly white. But if you're not brushing, then maybe you're starting to see some of that plaque build up, and that's not good either. So you want to make sure that you are brushing and flossing. So I want to see what's going to happen right now if I take my toothpaste. So I've got my toothpaste here. This is one of Hazel's old toothbrushes that we're ready to get rid of and change out. You should be changing out your toothbrushes regularly. So I'm going to put some toothpaste on the toothbrush. And we're going to give this dark egg a little brush here and see what happens. Here we go. Let's see if it starts to get rid of any of the stains or help with it. Dip it in the water that we have here. Add a little bit more water. Oh, it is lightening up. It is taking off some of that stain for sure. I'll hold this a little bit closer so you can see in just a couple minutes here. Not a couple minutes, couple seconds. Just keep brushing. And I'm brushing pretty gently. I'm not pushing too hard. Now, this egg isn't a human, so it can't really rinse and spit. So what I'm going to do is just wipe away gently. Oh, yes. And if you take a peek, can you see there? Right in this spot, how that is much whiter and cleaner, and that's just from one quick brush. So compared to how dark it is here, and the difference that quick little brushing made with my toothpaste. Pretty interesting. So, we've learned a few things about taking care of our teeth. It's important that we brush. It's important that we floss. It's important that we rinse after too, because rinsing with water helps get rid of some of those chemicals that might sit on our teeth. Things that are really acidic and sugary, like the pop, candy, juices. We don't want that stuff sitting on starting plaque and tooth decay on our teeth either. So we make sure that we are brushing, we make sure that we are flossing, we make sure that we are also eating healthy foods with calcium in them. That helps keep the dentin strong in our teeth. And I do remember, and I think I've said this tip, that one of the best things you can eat if you're not able to brush or floss right away is a little piece of cheese, because that helps keep that plaque away too. All right, I hope you had fun with this. I hope you went and made some awesome observations and shared some of your scientific learning. All right, talk to you next time.